Clinic on Kings Mountain Road. Call them at 276-415-1234.
And welcome back to Star News as we join you with local news at this hour. I have our own Dick Jansen on the set with me, who's been very busy this afternoon covering breaking news around the region. And Dick, I know you have a couple of things to tell us about, including, first of all, a wreck on Riverside Drive in the Bassett area of Henry County. What can you tell us about this incident?
That's correct, Scott. Now, this was a single vehicle incident that occurred right there near the Scrub Board Laundry. They got the car wash, and of course the Mackey's Eatery down in that general area. You can see the white Mustang there is the vehicle in question. Not a lot of damage to the vehicle. I did speak to authorities on the scene, and they believe this to be a medically related issue at hand. The only vehicle involved there, not a lot of damage done to it. A lot of the damage that you can see there has already been there. As you can see, the vehicle didn't make it very far out of the parking lot. They are treating an individual at this time, checking into the condition and things of that nature. And of course, it's still under investigation, although it is believed to be a medically related incident at this time.
Okay, well, good that there was not anything more significant here. It's we have seen some cases like this where people have been seriously injured or even killed. So. Thankfully, a relatively minor incident in this case. Looks like some onlookers there. Number of shops in that vicinity. Moving on to our next story, I understand there was a fire at a warehouse just off of Liberty Street in Martinsville, and you had a chance to speak with city fire officials about this incident.
That's correct. Now, I believe I spoke with Chris Schrader, I believe it, at the time of public fire and safety. Now, as you can tell, we did a little bit on this story earlier. Now, this is the loading area, part of the loading area, as well as the front of the warehouse here that was damaged. There's been an interesting turn on this, and it kind of goes back to earlier in the day. There were some vagrants that were in the building earlier in the day. Now, this fire occurred yesterday, actually last night in between the hours of 9:30 and 10 p.m. Some vagrants there earlier receiving a medical distress call at that location earlier in the day. It was then later on in the evening that the fire had broken out. Now, it's still under investigation. They haven't ruled it as arson yet. They have sent samples of the scene to the Roanoke forensics area there to kind of test it for accelerants. So no injuries yet that they know of. The fire was quickly extinguished. Firefighters did go inside just to make sure after the fire was out, just to make sure that there were no more vagrants inside the building, no one inside, no injuries at this point in time. So very, very good job by the firefighters there getting that put out quickly. Of course, this building is located, if you're familiar with where the clock tower is, you just go right over that little bridge there, and you'll see the building on your left. All in all, good news. From what we understand, the building is empty, no injuries, and that's always a good day for Martinsville firefighters.
I think we certainly appreciate your hard work out there covering these stories today and bringing us those updates.
Thank you, Scott.
Thank you. And on to our next story. You may be out there finding yourself unemployed, underemployed, or displaced from a layoff in the recent past. If that's the case, you might want to consider taking this opportunity to return to college and sharpen your skills. If so, Patrick Henry Community College has a program you are likely to be interested in. We had an opportunity to speak recently with officials from the college about the On-Ramp program. In today's tough economy, many adults are returning to school or attending college for the first time in order to update their skills and better their career prospects. Patrick Henry Community College sponsors the On-Ramp Grant Program to help workers who are unemployed, underemployed, or dislocated through no fault of their own. We spoke with Margaret Caldwell, a representative of Patrick Henry Community College, who explains how the program works.
The On-Ramp Grant Program is funded by Federal Workforce Investment Act money. It can pay for persons who are unemployed or underemployed, in other words, used to work full-time, now working part-time and want to work full-time again, but laid off through no fault of their own. It can also assist people who had to quit to care for, say, an elderly parent and now are ready to return to the workforce again. Also, owners of small businesses where their business have failed, again, through no fault of their own. So this is a wonderful opportunity to pay for going back to school.
The On-Ramp program can help cover any education-related expense, not just tuition, and can be used in conjunction with other programs, such as Pell Grant.
This is a wonderful opportunity to pay for going back to school. It can pay tuition, fees, books, materials. It can be used alone or with a Pell Grant. That works out well because let's say, for example, that the On-Ramp grant pays for the tuition. They might let the Pell Grant pay for books and materials. You would have some Pell Grant money left over that then could be used toward your gasoline or other expenses while you're going back to school. It can pay for 4-credit classes, non-credit classes, anything from a 15-week training class all the way up to an associate's degree. The goal is to study something that's considered an in-demand occupation. That would be an occupation that's stable or growing, and it would lead to a certificate, a licensure, or degree. And of course, the reason for that is that's what employers are expecting now. They want that piece of paper regardless of whatever life experiences or job experience you have. They want that piece of paper too. And that's because, of course, so many of the jobs now require a higher level of skills than has been common in the past in our community.
Getting qualified for the On-Ramp grant and other benefits is easy, and PHCC's professional advisors are there to help.
I would highly recommend that you contact the person who actually does the eligibility for this grant, and her name is Carolyn Isley. She's stationed at the Workforce Career Center on Commonwealth Boulevard across from the mall. And Carolyn can do the intake, do the eligibility, and determine if someone indeed is eligible for the On-Ramp grant. She can do career coaching as well as those persons I already mentioned in our advising center. We also have student support services at Patrick Henry Community College if you need some extra help. Each person, when they apply, will get a college advisor, so there are all kinds of people available to help anyone. We can hold your hand through the process as much or as little as you need.
For Star News, I'm Scott Coleman reporting in Southside, Virginia. All right, stay with us. We'll take a brief break. Be back with lots more local news in just a moment here on Star News.